Hi, I'm Mark Walker. I'm the editorial director here at the FinTech Times. We're here at Money 2020 Middle East in Riyadh. I'm going to start off by asking my interviewee to introduce himself to you, the audience. Please.
Hi, I am Onur Kursun. I am the Executive Vice President for Commercial and New Payment Flows in Mastercard in Eastern Europe, Middle East and Africa.
Fantastic. So, payments, I've always felt, are the backbone to everything within the FinTech ecosystem. So, in my opinion, there's no one better to be speaking to. How are you finding the interaction between sort of SMEs and financial institutions here in the Kingdom at the moment?
I believe Kingdom is currently leapfrogging towards SMEs. I mean, because the needs of SMEs of the past and needs of SMEs of today is different. Let me give you a concrete example. For example, if you are an SME in the past, you go to souk, you buy your goods, then you go to your neighborhood and you sell your goods on the neighborhood, most of the time by cash to their neighbors or that small neighborhood. Today, if you check SMEs, they are buying goods from China, which is very different need. Then they come to their stores. They accept all sorts of payments, name it cards, digital payments, etc. They are not only selling to neighborhoods, they are selling in marketplaces. They are importing their stuff. So the needs of SMEs evolved over the time, which created a huge opportunity to provide solutions for the fintechs and the financial institutions to these SMEs. Because in the past, maybe your own consumer card as an SME will do the job. Today, needs are much more complex. That's why I see Kingdom is leapfrogging towards a huge opportunity towards SMEs, and very happy to see many fintechs and banks are addressing those.
And I guess that's a really interesting thing that we see sort of from a European perspective, a very mature, established market where SMEs were kind of there before fintechs, and they've had to kind of integrate them into their existing sort of old style infrastructure. Is there an opportunity for yourself as Mastercard here in the region to build the infrastructure of tomorrow?
Very good question. Actually, as we speak, we are doing that. I mean, we are bringing all global expertise and all our infrastructure components, name it cybersecurity solutions, name it expense management solutions, name it 360-degree business views, name it different value propositions, name it different technologies like tap on phone, QR, pay by link, payment gateway type of solutions. As we speak, we are bringing them. These solutions are nothing new to us, neither to the Kingdom, but they were more on the consumer space, addressing more the retailers' needs or big company needs. Now we customized all of them to SMEs, and we are live with multiple partners, but you will see many more launches coming.
And I guess, does that present you guys with a challenge to get into the market from an awareness point of view? Or are you finding that SMEs are sort of coming to you saying, help us, we need some support?
As I mentioned, because of their current needs, SMEs are very eager to adapt our solutions. And our fintech and bank partners are also trying to address those needs. I mean, there are still some elements that we need to overcome to have, for example, excellent digital onboarding. For example, solving the problem of if SME has 5 partners, then how you will KYC each of them, etc., etc. Our ultimate objective is to make SME experience as good as your own consumer experience. Today, you press one button, a camera opens up, they do your KYC, 10 minutes later, your card is on your phone. We are aiming as equally, if not better, solutions addressing SMEs, and the local regulation is very supportive. Kingdom has the vision of having 30% of their GDP coming from SMEs by 2030. So we have good tailwind and support from regulators. We have enormous appetite from financial institutions, and we have very innovative, fast-paced moving fintechs. So it is a match made in heaven.
Yeah, I guess you're kind of in that really wonderful sort of multi-faceted mode where you kind of connect into everybody and you're kind of the glue that was going to bring everybody together.
Exactly, absolutely. And I believe, it is a win-win environment. For example, many people confuse fintechs as competing with banks. If you look at banks, for example, what are they bringing on the table? Banks generally deploy massive scale solutions. banks are foundation of the compliance and the risk of the system. So they ensure compliant environment in the market. And banks also ensure economic stability and risk is maintained by avoiding unnecessary things. When you look at fintechs on the other hand, they are agile, they move fast because they are not deploying massive scale solutions. They are more risk taker because they don't pose a systemic risk to the industry, and they are innovative. They can experiment with things. So I see it as fintechs can borrow all this infrastructure that banks can provide, so that they get rid of the tremendous cost of building infrastructures, complying with the regulation, avoiding risks, etc. And banks can take some capabilities and innovation from fintechs to speed up serving their customers.
Yeah.
So I see a perfect environment, especially in Kingdom, that all these two forces are at play in a very cooperative way.
Yeah, and I think it's interesting, right at the beginning of the what we call the fintech revolution, whenever that was, maybe 2016, who knows, we thought that fintechs were going to kill off all the banks. But we very soon realized that's not going to be the case. It's more about collaboration and partnerships. One of the big areas that kind of works as well is in access to capital.
Yes.
And I know that's something that Mastercard is helping to facilitate as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
You are absolutely spot on. As Mastercard, we pledge to make sure 50 million SMEs have access to financial tools, 25 million of which we aspire to be women entrepreneurs as well. So our job is to provide all the necessary tools and mechanisms to ensure that all our partners, name it fintechs, name it merchants, name it financial institution, have access to these tools so that we can enable SMEs. What do I mean by that is, for example, across the world, our consulting arm is helping banks to how to use alternative data, how to use Mastercard data, and how to use best banks data to best evaluate SMEs. How to ease their digital onboarding processes by using our cybersecurity KYC tools across the world. How to make sure system is secure by using our cybersecurity. And the best part of it is, we do the bulk of the investment as Mastercard, develop world-class solutions, which would be very difficult for individual bank or fintech to build. But we then enable at scale so that even a 3-company fintech or 300,000 employee multinational bank can have access to those. So our role is to bring the most efficient, most secure, most advanced tools so that our partners can deploy them to enable SMEs and all other financial inclusion elements to be in play.
That's really interesting. So effectively you're taking on an educator role within the kingdom to help the fintechs in the kingdom and the banks better work with SMEs.
I would say education is part of it, but we are mainly providing the technology itself as well. Okay. So our cybersecurity solutions are worldwide deployed, so we are leveraging that. Our expense management solutions are available to all our parties. For example, right now in USA, we are experimenting with small business AI, which will be available across the world, where small businesses can interact, get all the benefit of large businesses that they benefit from AI. Imagine if you're a small business getting a level of access to AI, like corporates or mid-sized businesses, close to impossible because of the cost of this business. But as Mastercard, once we enable it and mass distribute it, we enable. So I see our role, to your point, one part is education, but more important part is enabling those technologies in an efficient, secure, and scalable manner.
Fantastic. And then final questions. Obviously, I see you guys at many, many events. Money 2020, it's the first time that brand has come here to the kingdom. What's your thoughts on the show and how it has lived up to its expectations?
I mean, this is very exciting, Nuance. I mean, to be frank with you, I am lucky in a sense that I have been to many events like this, but I have never seen such an innovation, enthusiasm, and will to disrupt things. So in that sense, I believe it is also very timely because kingdom is going through a leapfrog when we come to financial services provided in a digital manner. So far I am very impressed with the event. We have our booth here. We are also hosting our guests, partners. I will have a panel discussion in the afternoon as well to share what is lost in Mastercard. And many of my colleagues, name it from our local office, name it from regional offices, are here together with their customers enjoying the event. And I can say that I have seen almost all my customers here, so it is a very popular event.
Very popular event. Fantastic. Thank you so much for joining me here at FinTech Times.
Thank you very much for having me, Mark. Pleasure to.